All right, it's IRS Economic Stimulus checks update. We've got PNC bank glitches, IRS crashes, and some banks are just keeping your stimulus check and not giving it to you. It's Thursday, April 16th, time for your IRS Economic Stimulus checks update. We have three big problems to talk about today. It was not a pretty day yesterday. Thank God I did not work at the IRS. Now, I heard from hundreds of you that said you couldn't get on the IRS website yesterday to give them your direct deposit information. You were frustrated, and understandably so. I remember the good old days when Donald Trump used to make fun of then President Obama's healthcare.gov website for having all those issues. He made fun of it, called it a disaster. Well, the shoe is now on the other foot.
No, not you. Not you. Your organization's terrible.
In fairness, I did make fun of healthcare.gov. They spent $1 billion building a website that didn't work. I can make a Squarespace website for $20 that never crashes. I digress. Anyway, IRS.gov still having a ton of problems at this hour, just analyzing some of the news reports all over the country with people unable to input their direct deposit info. They're getting this error message when they try to log in. It says, your request could not be completed. Please try again in a few minutes. And it says it in that voice, even though it's text. But you're being told to come back 24 hours later in other instances. Some users reported slow load times, while others said their status wasn't even available, even though they had filed taxes in recent years. So they're like, what the heck do I do now? Down Detector is a website. It tracks website outages. It showed several reports of problems with IRS.gov on Wednesday. I was able to access the website, but after a certain amount of wait time. Other people who were able to load the website and input their information said their payment status was not available, even though they had filed federal taxes in recent years, so they couldn't find their info there either. Now, this program, of course, is supposed to use the latest tax information if available, if it's on file. If someone hasn't filed their 2019 taxes yet, the agency will then use the information on file from 2018. But there was another big issue yesterday. This is huge. The government sent money to the wrong bank accounts. Listen to this. I know this is crazy, and this is where some of the fraud probably comes in. Americans are confused about what happened to their stimulus check deposits that were supposed to show up in their bank accounts on Wednesday. So what they did was they logged in and they noticed the money wasn't there, even though it said it was. The Treasury Department and the Internal Revenue Service launched the Get My Payment web application, which allows people to track their payouts. Well, that was hit with a ton of early glitches at the time of launch. Around 80 million people were supposed to receive their deposit this week. Now, the Treasury Department said on Monday that's the case. It was 80 million. But Wednesday, many people expressed concern and worry when the government website said that the cash up to $1,200 per person was sent to a bank account that didn't seem to belong to them. They were logging in and seeing that the money was paid out, but paid to the entirely wrong bank account. How many of that, has any of that happened to you? Let me know in the comments. The IRS portal said if you don't see the payment credited to your account, check with your bank to verify they received it. It also gave the last 4 digits of your bank account number associated with the deposit. Most people know that off the top of their head. Well, it's unclear how many people this happened to, though many people reached out to the IRS on Twitter to try to get some answers, because that's where you go these days, Twitter, right? IRS spokesperson Jody Reynolds told USA Today that she hadn't heard about any problems with the stimulus checks being deposited into the wrong bank accounts, but would look into the matter. This happened to a lot of people, folks. You don't know about it? Here's one example. Chris Rodriguez, a contractor in Lansing, Michigan, has used the same bank account for almost a decade. So he knew straight away those numbers didn't add up. They didn't match. He told that to USA Today. He couldn't believe it. Here's another big issue. Here's a third big issue right now. U.S. banks also experienced issues on Wednesday as a ton of people logged in to try to check the status of their payments. PNC Bank had huge issues. PNC Bank customers were having problems trying to get into their online or mobile bank accounts on Wednesday. That's, of course, the day when 80 million Americans were expected to suddenly receive their direct deposited stimulus checks from the U.S. government. So PNC Bank was hit hard. A spokesperson for PNC Bank, Marcy Zweibel, said that the issues were as a result of an influx of customers accessing their accounts at the same time to check to see if their stimulus payments had arrived. They were working on it, and they said due to high demand, you may have to wait longer than usual to access this site, and that they were fixing it. The IRS said, look, we also appreciate your patience. We're trying to work through these big issues. Here's another big issue: garnishment of wages by the banks. So imagine you're overdrawn on your account now by $600, heaven forbid, right? You get your stimulus check deposited in your account because you need that money. You log in and you see that the bank has kept $600. Yep, that's happening. So this phenomenon is swiftly becoming a political issue right now. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin was fielding tons of calls from senators yesterday urging him to ensure that this relief money isn't garnished by banks. Now, banks are legally allowed to withhold funds that go into the account if they have a negative balance. And there's no provision right now in the CARES Act that would prevent banks from taking customers' money. So it's not illegal to cover these debts. It's just unseemly right now. The practice isn't limited, though, to small institutions like local banks. A Minneapolis woman reported that she and her husband, listen to this, a disabled veteran, had been anxiously awaiting help, but that their bank, USAA, which is a financial services company that serves members of the military and their families, you know their commercials on TV, right? It told them on Wednesday that it was keeping the money, the $2,400, because their account was overdrawn. They had lost access to that account because they couldn't afford to pay off what they owed, so they shut down the account. The money hit the account, they took the money. So USAA's verified Twitter account, the representative there explained that if the family's bank account had a negative balance, sorry, any deposits that go into that account will go toward the negative amount owed to the bank. The woman had to quit her job after being unable to find childcare when Minnesota ordered all-day care centers to close because of the virus. So she had been counting on that $2,400. And that's the sum that's being handed out to married couples. It was going to help pay rent and to buy formula for her 10-month-old daughter. We're hearing stories like this all over the country. Several politicians right now are calling for banks to stop garnishing payments. On Wednesday, Senator Warren of Massachusetts and Sherrod Brown of Ohio, both Democrats, begged the head of the bank trade group to tell its members to stop it, to halt the practice. So we'll see. But there is some good news in this. Not every bank is doing this or keeping customers' money like this. The big ones aren't. Bank of America, not doing it. JP Morgan Chase, Citibank, Wells Fargo, the nation's 4 biggest banks, they're not doing it. They're not collecting on negative account balances to give customers access to the stimulus. Good for you guys. That's good news. Thank you guys for that. These people need this money right now. Of course, these government checks are meant to soften what we're going through, the pandemic's financial blow to some of the hardest hit Americans. And anyone who earns right now up to $75,000 in adjusted gross annual income and has a Social Security number is going to receive $1,200. Married couples who file joint tax returns get $2,400 if their adjusted gross income is under $150,000. And that, of course, that amount declines for those people that make more. Now, I've heard from many of you that you did receive your check overnight. That's great, directly deposited in your account. But many more of you are super frustrated trying to get access to the website and try to put in your information. For that, I am very sorry to hear that. Please continue to let us know about it. And finally, some news out of California. California Governor Gavin Newsom announced on Wednesday plans to give cash payments to adult immigrants living illegally in the state to help them get through the coronavirus crisis. Now, the plan, it'd be a mix of both taxpayer money and charitable donations from corporations and philanthropists. They're going to give $150,000 total, or 150,000 adults, will get $500 total to deal with this outbreak. California has an estimated 2 million immigrants living in the state illegally. They've not been eligible for the $2 trillion stimulus package approved by Congress last month, and they are vital to the California economy. Think about all of the fruits and vegetables. They're all basically dealt with because of the immigrant population there. So we're going to get through this, folks. Let me know in the comments section what you're experiencing, and be sure to join our live stream tonight at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. If you hit that subscribe button right here on YouTube, you'll get a little notification when we start that live stream today at 3 p.m. Eastern. Remember, this channel is devoted to helping you build wealth. So we will see you on our live stream tonight. We'll talk more about the stimulus and investing and helping you build your financial future. Much love to all of you. We'll see you next time.